You know, until you get on the road and drive around, you don't really see that.
Right, right. So then my question would be, as county commissioner, will you have a different take on, or do they have different needs? I'm sure they do. How do the needs of somebody from Buena Vista, Mulligan Township, differ from someone who's, has a beachfront property?
As needs as far as
What are what are the differences of things that they're telling you as far as what they need you to work on? Because I'm sure everybody, once they get the ear of a politician, or somebody who's running, they want to add to your platform, or they have something that they really, feel is a pressing problem.
well, there's like the common areas of concern that I've seen. Like I said, public safety, economy's big. A lot of one thing that the county commissioners don't handle that we hear a lot of is the issue with parents and parental rights, and parents being able to control what happens in the house instead of having these local school boards kind of dictate. But again, that's not something that the county commissioners really deal with. But it's a concern that I hear. As far as differences go, I think a pretty stark contrast is this offshore wind fight that a lot of the shore towns have been focused on. It's starting to kind of spread west, because I think it started out, the opposition at first was more visual. People that own beachfront properties didn't want to look out at the ocean and see hundreds of these turbines. Now, once the facts have started to come out and people realize that it's going to increase electric rates, all the other things that go along with it, the concern is kind of moving away from these shore towns and becoming more of a county-wide issue. So that's one thing where different areas of the county would differ on what they're concerned about. And of course, once you come out west, the concerns will change. But you'd be hard pressed to find. It's hard to find somebody who's lived in Atlantic County for any period of time that is not happy with the way the county's run. Republican, Democrat, Independent, rich, poor, any section. Most people can agree that Atlantic County's a very well-run county. I mean, it's got the name as the best-run county in the state for a reason. Our county executive's done a fantastic job. The services that the county provides are top-notch, and again, fiscally, the county's been run very well. Like I said, for 25 consecutive years, we've had these 25 perfect audits. So it's people are happy with the way the county's run, and
so
that
then
goes
if
across
elected,
the board.
you actually have the hard job of not messing it up.
That's exactly right.
You've been a great guest. You've been a great guest.
Thank you. And you've been a great host.
Well, again, 10 years here, and the fact that the station manager Chad makes me sweep up after my show, so who could ask for more?
And you have a great studio here too, by the way.
For
those who are listening.
Now, I'm not proud of much in my life, but I remember when we moved to this studio, I was like, oh, I'm never leaving.
I see why.
And we keep it a lot cleaner. I don't know if you ever been to the other studio.
No.
We were like animals over there,
Oh, yeah.
but we keep it very clean.
You're a little slice of heaven up here, Raymond.
Yeah, it's
nice.
It's great work if you can get it. We're here having fun with Mike Ruffu, who I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Win or lose, you're always welcome to come and hang out with us here at the morning show, man.
I appreciate
You're a great guy. Listen, I have to ask you this. I ask every politician or every candidate this. The election's coming up in 2 weeks. When I get into that booth, or when I early vote, I really need the early vote. When I get into that booth, why should I pull the lever for Mike Ruffu? pull the lever. I'm showing my age.
Yeah,
Right?
it's a button now.
I think I was voting with Milton Berle. But why should I vote for Mike Ruffu?
Well, like I said, I'm an attorney. I've spent my whole life, so I bring an attorney's background to
Okay.
one of the like I said before, one of the most important jobs that the county commissioners do are draft these ordinance, draft laws that affect all of Atlanta County. So being an attorney, I have experience doing that, so I bring that to the table right off the bat. I've spent, starting from when I was on the Margate Beach Patrol at 15 years old, I've been involved in public service. From then, volunteering for various causes in college, law school. First job out of law school as an Atlanta County prosecutor, representing the people of the county. I've always been involved in public service. I have a family history of it. We can get back to that after my great grandfather was actually the mayor of Atlantic City in the 20s.
Okay.
So I have politics in my blood. There's a lot of politicians in the family, but I just I heard that former Sheriff Frank Ballas was not running again, and I've been a lifelong resident of Atlanta County. I care deeply about the residents. I care deeply about the county, and I just wanted to do my part, step up. And, I've been involved in politics for a while, especially local politics. I've worked behind the scenes. I never really saw myself as getting involved in elected politics, but when Frank decided not to run, I talked to our Republican chair, Don Purdy. We kicked the idea around a little bit, and I just decided the time was right, and it was a good opportunity for me to come out from behind the scenes and get involved more directly. And I think I'll make a great. I think I've made a great candidate, and I think I'll make a great member of the Board of Commissioners when I'm elected.
Okay.
2 weeks away, as you said.
Two weeks away.
Early voting starts this Saturday, October 26th.
Okay.
And we'll go till the following Sunday. And then we'll have Monday off, and then Tuesday the 5th is the day.
Okay. What, you in favor of early voting?
It's
Don't answer that. I'm just gonna get you in trouble.
I'm in favor of it. From talking to our county clerk, Joe Girallo, the issue with early voting is the cost. Now this is a presidential,
okay.
so there's going to be a lot higher turnout. Last year, or during the primary even, there's just not enough people for whether they don't know about it, it hasn't caught on yet. Not a lot of people are coming out to vote early. So once you set that operation up across the entire state, it gets expensive. And if not a lot of people are utilizing it, it's the cost for each vote that's cast is it's enormous. We need to do whatever we need to do. I would either shorten the amount of early voting days, just get the word out more so more people utilize it. That's something that needs to be discussed. Maybe 4 or 5 days of early voting.
Okay.
10 days, and we have a lengthy time for mail-ins that started weeks ago. Plus the 10 days of early voting.
Okay. Cool. We are here with Mike Ruffu, and we'll slide in another couple questions, and then we'll let him go because there are 14 days left, and I'm sure that he needs to go and do some more campaigning. But
Back on the
thank
trail.
him for taking time out of his busy schedule to be with us here today. One question before I let you go. You said you were a prosecutor. Tell me something as a resident who hopes to never be involved with the prosecutor or even with law enforcement. Tell me something that I should know. Tell our listeners something that they should know or may not know about what it's like to sit in that seat. Because we all think, as soon as we hear prosecutor, we're thinking doom and gloom.
Well, let me think about that one. So
He's got nothing positive to say. No, I'm kidding.
What the prosecutor's office will get. Let's just somebody's arrested in pick a town, Margate.
Okay.
They get arrested, charged. There's possibly an indictable offense. That ticket will get sent up to the county prosecutor's office. Then whichever prosecutor gets assigned to it will analyze it, take a look at the charges, see if the police officer charged that person correctly. So there a lot of people don't know that the prosecutor's office is a check on the police departments, on the individual police officers and the police departments. If they don't see, they look at the evidence, they'll look at detective reports, they'll look at the circumstances surrounding the ticket, and they'll determine, like I said, whether or not that the charging police officer charged correctly. Use the right charges, the degrees of crime, the entire charging packet. So the prosecutor's office is a check, and a lot of times I don't want to say a lot of times, sometimes they'll see that there was a mistake, the charges were too much, they were too high, too low, completely different charge should have been put down, different degree. So they're a check on the police officers, and it's a good check. So people may be worried about the prosecutor's office, scared of of getting involved, but they do that initial service is a good service that they provide, and that's a lot of people don't know about that. And
that's before
the whole court case. That's before everything that you see on TV, before the court cases and the trials and the show. But that's the first step in the process, and it's crucial.
Behind the scenes, I tell you about my involvement with the Atlantic City prosecutor.
All right.
It was a ticket. And I'll tell you about that behind the scenes, because that conversation might be a tad hostile. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to The Light right here on the Mighty 91.7. We're at our WLFR studios in South Jersey with Mike Ruffu. Wow, the time's really getting out of here. So next to last question, I guess. Did I ever buy a Ford from any of your people? Because Ruffu is a big name in car, or was a big name in cars in this area.
It was.
Are you an heir to the automobile Ruffu?
I am. My grandfather opened up that. He had a bunch of car dealerships in the area.
Okay.
But the one that everybody knows about on Albany Avenue was the biggest one and the last one. So my grandfather opened that up. My father worked there. My cousins worked there. I grew up in that dealership. So yeah, there's a good chance if you bought a Ford or a Lincoln or a Mercury back in the day, there's a good chance you bought it from the dealership. You could have bought it from me too. I did sell cars there at one point, so I could have sold you one, Raymond.
Yeah, I tell you, that's the one thing I love about growing up in this area. We still have a couple of large-scale family businesses. I think somebody told me the Shifts still own a number of properties up on the boardwalk, but it was, you just had so many places in the area that were like family owned, and when you hear the name Ruffu, I automatically thought of the car dealership.
Yeah, thank you.
And
It was a landmark. It was right there in Albany when everybody was coming into Atlantic City. Everybody saw it, and back it was the only car dealership around. Everybody bought their cars from there. I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Even like I say, campaigning all across the county. I talked to.
So I'm not the only guy to ask you about that.
No. I talked to an older gentleman the other day out in the outskirts of Hamilton who used to buy Lincoln Town cars from there. People still remember that dealership, which is good. Gives me a little name recognition when I'm out in the western part of the county where nobody knows me.
There you go. All right, so we'll get you out on this. If people want to find out more about your campaign, what's the best way for them to do that?
Give me a call.
Wow. Okay.
Call me directly.
Call you directly?
I don't know if I want to put my number out there on the radio.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. I do have a Facebook group for this
I have a you know
the
what?
show.
Let's do that. I have a Facebook page, Ruffu for Commissioner.
Okay.
I have a Facebook page. If you have any questions, anyone can go to the Facebook page and send me a message on Facebook. And you know, if you have any issues, concerns, questions, I'll get in touch with anybody that contacts me. I'd be happy to talk to any of your listeners about anything.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't come up with a whole entourage. And by the way, speaking of entourage, shout out to Sarah.
Sarah, yes.
Who set this up?
Sarah Walsh.
For me, and you know, if you didn't have a good time, don't give her the riot act when you get back. Just you know, because
Sarah's
she's tough. I don't want her. You asked him what? I guess I'm doing all right because she hasn't texted me during this interview yet.
Then you're doing okay.
So I guess I'm doing all right. Okay. Anything you want to add before I let you go?
No, that's it. Thanks for having me. I appreciate the time and glad we got to have a quick discussion on the air. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for sharing your views, your platform, and especially your time. If you're just tuning in, this is The Light on the Mighty 91.7 WLFR Pomona. He's Mike Ruffu, and you might have bought a car from him, but he's running for county commissioner.